Hello, everybody. Welcome to Little Rusty Bucket. Subscribe to the channel and drop a like on this video. And we're trying to hit 25K subscribers, so your subscription would be much appreciated. We are talking about the final game of Lakers versus Timberwolves. This was game number 5 as the Wolves finish off the gentleman sweep. I didn't feel very good about the Lakers bouncing back in this game after going down 3-1, but after a certain point, it did seem like they were going to do it. Now, the big thing, the thing that's going to be in the title and the thumbnail and all of that is we got a Rudy Gobert legacy game. This was the best performance that I have seen from him in the playoffs in a very, very, very long time. I don't remember exactly what his totals were, so let me pull them up real quick. He had 27 points, 24 rebounds, and 2 blocks, shooting 12 of 15 from the field. Yeah, dude, what an insane performance. He played 38 minutes after not cracking more than 26 for the entire series. It was like he woke up, like genuinely. Though I did expect Gobert to have his struggles offensively in this series, I can't say that I expected them to be as bad as they were in the first 4 games of the series, because dude was missing complete bunnies, like couldn't even get any dunks, also couldn't rebound. Like the 24 rebounds is the big thing. 9 offensive rebounds. I think he had like 3 putback dunks in this game. He especially had a really big one late in the fourth quarter. And all of that in totality made Rudy Gobert the unstoppable interior force that I thought would be very prevalent in the series. Not as the finisher, but at least as a rebounder and as a defensive player. But because of his finishing, because of his lack of anything else on offense, he wasn't able to play big minutes. And his lack of offensive rebounding, he wasn't really able to punish the small ball. I thought that what this series would end up being is Rudy Gobert playing big minutes and it being a mixed bag. But for the most part, Chris Finch is very willing to adapt and say, I don't care if you're our starter and you're making $50 million or whatever the hell it is. We're going to go with the best lineup option. And Chris Finch is actually someone who I have not mentioned his name directly throughout pretty much any of my commentary. And that's a mistake because I do believe that he is one of the better coaches in the NBA, especially defensive coaches. But Gobert being both not needed to a degree where they could sub him out when his offense was bad, but also having the option to have this all world rim protector. And then, of course, in this late game, he does what he does. Like that adaptability and malleability and the way that other guys could step up, Nas Reed being able to step up the way that he did, that enabled this roster to work the way that it's supposed to. And that's especially by contrast to the Lakers, who when a guy's down, they're fucked. Like when Luka was bad in that game 3, game 2, game 4. Was it which one was it? I think it was game 3 where he was sick. It was kind of like, yeah, you guys are fucked because if Luca is going to play terrible, you just have no chance of winning. And there's a lot to be said about Luca's play style. I definitely am going to be making a video just about it in general. I think I made the very same video after the NBA Finals, but like there are just a couple of things about Luca's game that you could just adjust a little bit that would make him a far more effective player and make the team significantly better. And I figured that JJ would be cognizant of that, and I guess not. I'm actually very disappointed by the lack of complexity that the Lakers brought to their offense with Luca here, because for a while, like I loved how much it was freelance because Luca, Austin, and LeBron are just such great shot makers, playmakers, and drivers. But first of all, just on the driving front, all 3 of them were disappointing with their rim pressure in this series. We know LeBron doesn't drive as much as he used to, but, you know, he kind of just didn't drive at all in this series. Basketball Reference only has the stats from the first 4 games, but I'm going to just take a look at the shooting here. I'm willing to bet you he's got a really low percentage of shots at the rim. Yeah, he is at 27%. Last year's playoffs, he was at 47%. Now, the year before that in 2023, when they made the conference finals, he was at only 27%. But like for his career, he's at 35%. And for many of the years, just up until recently, he's in the 30s, like high 30s, in the 40s. Like back in 2016, he's at 46% of his shots were from that range. 2020, when he won his championship, 40%. So, like, more and more mid range shots, more and more 3-point shots, and they really just were not dropping. So LeBron has become more jump shot reliant than at any other point in his career, which makes him like a significantly more volatile player. He had 22 points in this one, but it was on 21 shots. So I don't know. I think LeBron's gravity as like a rim guy, and just in terms of his shot creation, is just not as good. And I think I said LeBron was like the fifth best player in the NBA this season. The playoffs are where you really get that type of shit tested. I definitely don't think LeBron is top five. I don't think LeBron. I think there's a chance he might not even be top 10 anymore. And that is the big thing that I would be worried about if I was the Lakers going forward, is just, LeBron definitely dipped a little bit in this postseason, like pretty significantly. Is that a sign that he just can't provide superstar level play at this level anymore? And if that's the case, what does that mean? Because the fact that you had superstar LeBron plus superstar Luca plus playing at an all-star level Austin Reeves meant a lot to the ceiling of this team. And while I'm very much a depth over top of the line talent type of guy, the three-headed snake of LeBron, Luca, and Austin was so phenomenal offensively that I really just thought that would be enough to win this. But Luca disappointed a good bit. LeBron disappointed a lot. But of those three, though he was the one with the lowest expectations, he is the most disappointing overall. And that was Austin Reeves. Once again, Austin did not have a good game. 12 points, 5 rebounds, 2 assists, 6 turnovers, 5 of 14 from the field, 2 of 10 from 3. He just completely lost any finishing ability or any confidence as a driver, when throughout much of the year that was like foundationally what he was so good at. Like the three-point shooting, he became more and more of just a three-point shooter as this series went along, but like that wasn't the way that he played. This year, 7 of his shots per game are threes, so that's about half of his shots coming from three-point range. Yeah, 51% this year. And in the 4 games, not including this one, it's at 63%. And he's only taking 8% of his shots at the rim. Like, they just stopped getting to the basket. And you want to blame this on Rudy Gobert, but there are so many minutes where where Rudy Gobert's not on the floor, and that is still the case. I'm actually looking at Luka's number now. This year, took about. I'm actually getting worried about this number from Luka, because uh, after I mean, it was down the year that they went to the finals, but like, I don't know. I feel like he should be at more like 20% of his shots around the basket. But, anyways, this year for the Lakers, he was at 11% of his shots at the basket. And actually, he's at 10% after the 4 games. So I don't know. It felt like he was not getting to the rim as much as he used to, but he also reduced his rim frequency this year anyway. So maybe this is just what Luka is. And if that is the case, that does take away from how good Luka is. But the biggest dip in terms of my belief in them as a player here is Austin Reeves. I'm not saying he can't bounce back. He's a young player, but a lot of the creation ability that he displayed really did not hold up well when facing big athletic wings. And the reality of the NBA today is, if you're a guard who's a really good shot creator, you are not going to get slouch matchups. And you're often going to get bigger, stronger players than you, because their job is to fuck you up on the defensive end. And Austin, for the most part, has not been the type of guy who's like getting a bunch of attention from the defense. But now that he earned this reputation, he completely crumbled under the pressure of it. I want to give credit to Rui Hachimura. He was great the last 2 games of this series. He had 23 in this one. I think he had exactly 23 in the last game as well. But yeah, this team just didn't have enough. They were putting fucking Maxi Kleba in the game in the fourth quarter, which I don't think was the right decision, but I understand why it happened. Because the options aren't good. It's either him, Gabe Vincent, or Jared Vanderbilt. There's really nobody else that you feel super comfortable playing in this context. So Minnesota is just the depth. Depth is, even I, as someone who's been preaching the importance of depth, I think I still even manage to underrate how important it is in the NBA. Probably the biggest anomaly of this game, though, something I haven't touched on yet, is because Rudy Gobert had this dominant interior performance. It was absolutely the reason that they won the game because they were failing in every other category. I think I hit, I think I hit Anthony Edwards with the Rusty Buckets curse because I mean he did have 15, 11, and 8. He also had 0 turnovers, so he did a great job. Like I did a video over on Rusty Buckets, formerly also Rusty Buckets, where I talked about his processing and how he's just gotten better at dealing with defensive pressure as a lead ball handler. And yeah, he still did great with that pressure. He just couldn't hit any fucking shots today. 0 for 11 from three. He got plenty of clean looks. They just weren't going. Julius Randle had a rough game shooting the ball, but was great inside the arc. And yeah, I mean, yeah, that's kind of the case for everybody. Dante DiVincenzo, 2 for 12 from three. What happened to him? Why is he always so bad at shooting the ball lately? I don't get what that is. Nikhil Alexander Walker went 2 for 9 from three as well. That's the only thing about this series that has like rung true that I have actually been correct about is that, yeah, I just don't know that I trust Nikhil Alexander Walker as a shooter yet. I don't think he's earned those stripes. He might, but not yet. Mike Conley, I also have to give him credit for his defense because I don't know. I felt like the Lakers did a bad job of forcing mismatches in this series, which is kind of the thing that they're the best. They're supposed to be one of the best at. The Celtics are the best in the league at forcing mismatches, but having LeBron and Luca, having these guys that can both get by slower-footed bigs and punish a smaller guard, like you want to get those guys in ideal matchups as much as you can. But for the most part, Minnesota was comfortable keeping the exact matchups that they already had. So, like, they did not give up switches. They didn't concede them often. They didn't make them pay for it. They were a significantly worse three-point shooting team than I thought that they could be. I mean, I think the Lakers still overall won the three-point battle barely in this series, but it was not by any kind of large amount. They technically won it in this game, but it's like, yeah, they hit 11 and Minnesota hit 7. You know, it's better. It's better than shooting fucking 15% from three. Good God, that is truly historically bad shooting. I actually want to highlight this because I saw a tweet from Carson Breber. Yeah, Carson says before tonight, NBA teams were 0-9 in history when attempting 40 plus threes and making under 15% of them, losing by an average of over 20 points per game. They are now 1-9. This was a historically anomalously awful, and that's a word I should be better at saying, anomalously awful shooting performance, and Minnesota still won. The Lakers should be humiliated. Yeah, Lakers went out sad. I thought they were actually going to pull off the win at one point in here because they started to look good in like the middle of the fourth, something like that, early fourth, in that ballpark. But nope, nope, they closed poorly again. And that was the big problem with them this entire series. There's a lot of things to address. Next video on Rusty Buckets is probably just going to be a what's next for the Lakers. But yeah, that's it. Thank you for watching and goodbye.